In the past, Ali MacGraw was the epitome of innocence in Hollywood. Her part in Love Story as a young lady influenced a whole generation. Her true life was far darker than the pleasant characters she portrayed on film. She grew close to Steve McQueen, who was adored worldwide as the coolest person ever when she was at the top of her game. The idyllic beginning of their relationship soon devolved into years of hostility, dominance, and heartbreak. MacGraw reflects on the romance that both enthralled and killed her now that she is older. Fans of classic films are still shocked by what she learns about it, how Ali MacGraw became Robert Evans, and how he became famous. It wasn't on the Los Angeles red carpets that Ali MacGraw first gained notoriety. She was raised in an unstable, fight-filled household after being born in Bedford Village, New York. She lacked confidence from an early age due to her father's alcoholism and the frequent arguments between her parents. She found solace in modeling, and she began her career in the fashion world with the assistance of editor Diana Vreeland. She was able to begin her career in filmmaking by taking this step. Her debut role was in the film Goodbye Columbus, 1969. The romance comedy was well received, and MacGraw's performance caught the interest of Hollywood people. It was around this period that she met Robert Evans. At the time, Evans, a popular director, oversaw production at Paramount Pictures. Evans decided to cast the young actress in Love Story because he believed she had a lot of potential. In 1970, the film was released with the depressing slogan, "Love means never having to say you're sorry." MacGraw became one of the most sought-after performers of the 2000s when the film earned over $100 million worldwide. She cemented her status as a leading lady by playing Jenny, the doomed student who captured Ryan O'Neal's heart. She and Evans became fast friends behind the scenes. Joshua, their only child, was born in 1971 after they were married in 1969. Ali MacGraw appeared to have it all: a prosperous career, a devoted husband, and the joys of motherhood. However, destiny was about to take her in a different direction. The trip's events and how they altered everything. In 1972, The Getaway was the talk of Hollywood. Steve McQueen appeared in the action film, which was directed by Sam Peckinpah. Evans helped MacGraw land the role of McQueen's wife. Her life would never be the same after making this decision. Because she was terrified of abandoning her newborn boy, she wasn't sure at first. She then stated in her 1991 book, Moving Pictures, that the true cause was different from what she initially believed. She already felt insecure working so near to McQueen. "I knew I was going to get in some serious trouble with Steve," she stated. She was also correct. By the time Ali MacGraw arrived on the set of The Getaway in 1972, Steve McQueen was already a global celebrity. Robert Evans remained her husband. 12 years her senior, McQueen had the confidence of a man who had conquered huge obstacles. He was all about risk, defiance, and appeal, from his difficult upbringing of being abandoned to his ascent to fame as Hollywood's ultimate anti-hero. Because he was an excellent actor and had a strong passion for both bikes and race cars, he was seen by many as the definition of cool. His magnetic nature made it difficult for MacGraw to avoid him. Their compatibility was immediately apparent. MacGraw would later describe it as chemical, claiming that when McQueen entered a room, everyone turned, even ladies and children. He was so strong that he had an impact on everything, and MacGraw, who was then married to Evans, was soon enmeshed in his world. They began dating shortly after filming in Texas, and their relationship soon became the most talked about in Hollywood. Because of all the attention their relationship received, people were more eager to watch The Getaway. At the box office, it was a huge hit. The co-stars' intense love for one another was adored by fans and the media, but their personal lives were far more challenging. By the end of 1972, MacGraw and Evans had filed for divorce, sparking a major Hollywood controversy. When she told him about the betrayal, Evans was taken aback. She was famous because of the part he had given her. The Offer, a Paramount Plus program about Evans and the creation of The Godfather, later used their breakup as a side plot point. In July 1973, Ali MacGraw and Steve McQueen tied the knot. Their relationship wasn't nearly as nice as it appeared, but it did look like something from a Hollywood fairy tale. Prior to their marriage, McQueen forced MacGraw to sign a contract, stating that she would not demand money in the event of a divorce. Even worse, he advised her that she ought to stop acting altogether. MacGraw left Hollywood to meet his expectations when she was at the top of her game. She later said that she consented, despite the fact that it meant sacrificing her own ambitions since she didn't want to lose him. Steve McQueen's life, taking charge, feeling envious, and giving up. At first, being married in Malibu seemed like a fantasy. Steve McQueen and Ali MacGraw lived into a seaside property that was far from the rest of the world. They spent time with a select few close friends, went to parties, and took walks on the beach. They appeared to be a gorgeous Hollywood couple living the good life to everyone else. But behind closed doors, fissures soon emerged. McQueen's childhood left him with severe mental wounds. He was raised to distrust people, particularly ladies, after his mother sent him away and his father abandoned him. In his marriage, such concerns resurfaced. MacGraw recalled how the mere sight of another man would make him envious. Unbelievably, McQueen openly flirted with other women and reportedly had multiple affairs during their time together. One of the most difficult things MacGraw had to do was quit her work. The highest paid celebrity in the world at the time, McQueen, informed her that he didn't want a working wife. "He was the biggest movie star in the world, and he didn't want me to work," she said to him years later. She didn't want to lose him, so she left Hollywood since she loved him. In order to become a full-time housewife and raise her son Josh from her marriage to Robert Evans, she gave up attending premieres and working on new projects. She also took care of McQueen's requirements. She fully embodied the roles of cook, maid, and plain woman, according to her book. She started to dislike being by herself. Despite her love for McQueen, she felt increasingly trapped by his need to be in control. He utilized medications, which made the issue worse. She began to struggle with intoxication, and he was known to take drugs and drink excessively. The partnership started out with a lot of love and trust. However, skepticism, resentment, and rage gradually surfaced. The split in McQueen's decline. Ali MacGraw and Steve. McQueen's marriage was obviously struggling by 1976. McQueen was still portrayed as Hollywood's invincible macho guy in magazine covers and movie advertisements. He was the one who inspired millions of people to ride a Mustang and be free in Bullitt or The Great Escape. At home, however, things were not nearly as wonderful. He had become more dependent on his medicines. He was frequently irate, aloof, or suspicious when he returned home after going out drinking, using drugs, and hanging out with others at night. Since she had already sacrificed her independence to satisfy his demands, MacGraw felt strangled by her loneliness. She began drinking more in an effort to feel better, but this just made her condition worse. McQueen was devastated by the rumors that she had been having an affair with her husband. Reports of liaisons with other women immediately spread throughout Hollywood. She initially tried to ignore him by convincing herself that the endearing man she had once loved was still present despite the commotion and rage. However, the murmurs soon became too loud to ignore. The humiliation was intolerable. She later said that since she felt unwanted and in need of solace, she too began seeking acquaintances outside her marriage. The once passionate relationship devolved into a vicious cycle of wrath and betrayal, with each wound becoming more severe than the last. MacGraw couldn't wait any longer by 1977. She informed McQueen of her desire to resume her acting career, which she had abandoned during her prime. Her apology was a declaration of her identity as well as a request for employment. Following years of oppression, McQueen's reaction was severe and definitive. According to author Mark Elliott, he informed her, "Then we're going to file for divorce." Any last illusions were dispelled by those remarks. They demonstrated that he had never given much thought to her opinions or choices, which was what she was most terrified of. MacGraw wanted to be independent again, so she accepted a role in Sam Peckinpah's film Convoy. Reconciliation was impossible as a result of the decision. They made a brief effort to restore trust, but it had already been damaged. After 5 years that were characterized by feelings of love, domination, and jealousy, the divorce was finalized in 1978. Tragic events only occurred 2 years later. He passed away in 1980 at the age of 50 from pleural mesothelioma, a rare illness caused by asbestos exposure. His illness rocked the film industry, and his closest friends and family were devastated. The tragedy was too much for MacGraw to bear. She loved him deeply despite her anger, hurt, and betrayal. "I wish we had both grown old sober," she remarked, looking back on the many years that had passed. The thought of the life they could have had but chose not to due to drug usage, pride, and an untimely death crushed their hearts. Life after Steve, substance abuse, healing, and new beginnings. In November 1980, Ali MacGraw was just 41 years old when Steve McQueen passed away. She and Steve had already split up, but in a sense she was a widow. His passing caused her much distress. Nothing could have prepared her for death. But for years she had feared being abandoned. She claimed that she loved him deeply, and that his passing left a need in her life that she was unable to fill, despite their terrible breakup. She made an effort to advance in her career. She landed new roles, including one in the 1978 film Convoy and a 14-episode stint in the primetime serial series Dynasty in 1984. However, she lacked the glimmer that had previously made her famous. The movie industry had changed, and MacGraw was either typecast or ignored. To make matters worse, she lacked the stamina to defend her position in a company that had previously dubbed her its biggest new star. Her emotional issues were becoming too much for her to manage by the early 1990s. What once helped people feel better had become a prison drug. When MacGraw recognized she was headed in the wrong direction, she sought assistance at the Betty Ford Center. There, she began the protracted process of recovery by confronting her addiction, as well as the psychological wounds from her failed marriages, job loss, and time spent with McQueen. After years of turmoil, it was a turning point that allowed her to regain control over her life. She authored the book Moving Pictures in 1991. She discussed her difficult relationships, her traumatic past, and the price of fame in an open and honest book. The book became popular because readers felt that her story resonated with their own experiences with addiction, loss, and love. She left Hollywood in 1994 and relocated to Santa Fe, New Mexico. She left the film sets for peaceful days of art, gardening, and spirituality. Ali MacGraw began to truly recover there, away from the tumultuous world of entertainment. Alcoholism, life at 85, and thoughts. Ali MacGraw had not found serenity in decades, but she did it in Santa Fe. She concentrated on sobriety, maintaining her health, and leading a modest life away from the spotlight. She maintained her yard, had animals close by, and practiced yoga and meditation daily. She discovered that she needed to be still and alone in order to recuperate after years of turmoil. She used to believe that she would never be able to stay clean for more than 30 years. She reflected, "I used to make up stories about the future and rewrite the past. But now I think it's important to live my life to the fullest. I'm thankful for everything." MacGraw wanted to concentrate on discovering himself. Therefore, he never got married again. Her enduring connections turned into pillars of support. One of these was seeing her love story co-star Ryan O'Neal again after seeing him perform in a Love Letters tour in 2016. People recalled the charm that initially made them famous because of their smooth friendship. But for MacGraw, it served as a reminder that some relationships endure despite changes. She also focused her creative energies on new projects that she found fulfilling. She collaborated on apparel lines that celebrate workmanship and empower women with Ibu, a fashion collective that collaborates with female craftspeople worldwide. For a woman who had sacrificed her career to conform to someone else's, this position offered her the opportunity to forge her own path, one founded on independence rather than sacrifice. Despite her advanced age of 85, she continues to speak candidly about her life. She has never denied that she was strongly attracted to Steve McQueen. She has referred to him as chemical, and claimed that she could tell problems was coming the moment they met. Nor does she romanticize the subsequent events. According to her, there were terrible days and wonderful days. I am not a victim at all. There were a lot of wonderful moments and a lot of terrible ones. Her narrative had significance outside of Hollywood because she was truthful. Ali MacGraw is more than simply the love story heroine. Despite having experienced death, addiction, grief, and stardom, the woman has emerged stronger than ever to finally speak the truth. Love and pain are jumbled together in Ali MacGraw's recollections of Steve McQueen, demonstrating how even the most sexy romances may conceal serious issues. After all this time, did she have the courage to reveal these facts? Comment below